Hello, my math friends. Here we have a geometry question that is stating the length of a rectangle is 7 centimeters, less than twice the width. If the area of the rectangle is 165 square centimeters, find the length and width. Okay, so when we do word problems like this, where there's tons of information, it's always helpful to start with a picture. So I've put a rectangle on the board, and let's see what else we can pull from this word problem. So starting with the first sentence, the length, so we'll call that is equals 7 less than twice the width, or 2 times W. So here I've translated this English into a mathematical equation, and that's what we want to do. The next sentence says if the area of the rectangle is 165 square centimeters. So that means A, area, is equals 165 square centimeters. Find the length and width. Okay, so before I get started on actually finding it, let's label my rectangle. Length equals 2W minus 7. We don't know width, so we'll just call it W. Okay, so now we need to piece together this information to actually find L and find W. Before I start though, let's remember, because we know area, let's start with the area formula of a rectangle. Area equals length times width. We need this last piece of information to even get started. And let's plug in what we know. A, area, is 165. That was given to us in the word problem. L, we figured out, is 2W minus 7. And W is just W. We don't know anything else about it. So we needed those 3 pieces of information to put this workable equation together. And it's nice because it's in one variable, and now we can solve for W. It's our starting point. So let's do that. So 165 equals, let's distribute here, 2W times W is 2W squared. Negative 7 times W is negative 7W. I'm going to go ahead and rewrite this up here. (165) equals 2W squared minus 7W. So I notice this is a quadratic because of the squared term on the W, so we need to set this equal to 0. We're going to subtract 165 from the left side and the right side to keep the equation balanced. So 165 minus 165 is 0. And then we have 2W squared minus 7W minus 165. Now I have a couple options I can use to solve this. I can either factor the trinomial here or use the quadratic formula. I'm going to factor it because that will be definitely the easiest and shortest route. So factoring means breaking it into its factors. So the 2 factors that this trinomial breaks into are 2W plus 15 and W minus 11. Now what we want to do here, because we're solving for W, is set each of these equal to 0, each of these factors. 2W plus 15 equals 0. W minus 11 equals 0. And we solve, so we're going to get 2W equals negative 15. I subtracted 15 from both sides. And W equals negative 15 over 2. I divided both sides by 2. Here we're adding 11 to both sides. And W equals 11. So that's weird. We have 2 answers, but it's not really that weird. We have to eliminate W equals negative 15 over 2. Why? Because it's negative. And we do not express the length in negative numbers. That's just doesn't make sense. So our answer for W is 11 centimeters. So we found that W equals 11 centimeters. And that's your width for that rectangle. Now we need to find length, and it's pretty simple. Just use this formula here that we stated out from the beginning, or this equation. So length equals 2 times W. We just figured out W, which is 11, minus 7. And here you will get length equals 22 minus 7. And as your last step, you're going to get length equals 15. So length equals 15 centimeters, and width equals 11 centimeters. So I hope this was helpful. I know there's a lot going on. If you have any questions, want to connect with some online sessions, feel free to communicate with me and I'd be glad to help you out.